Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. It's our Dallas Weekly video, the Dallas Cowboys game of the week. This Sunday, they're going to be taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's undefeated. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it as we break down the Cowboys and the Steelers. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and joining me, as always, I call him the legend. He started defensive back U at Florida State. He said Florida State has had the greatest defensive backs in the history of college football. He was a two-time All-American at Florida State. First-round draft choice in the 1981 NFL Draft. We argue about that all the time because he says it's the greatest draft in NFL history. He played 12 years with the Atlanta Falcons. My man, with much respect and much love, joining me this evening from Delray Beach, Florida, Mr. Bobby Butler. How you doing, brother Butler?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic this evening. I'm ready to talk some football. I'm ready to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Even though they lost last night, they look like a much improved football team. So let's move on and let's talk about their game coming up this Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And right quick, recap what happened last night, brother Butler.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You said it right, Vincent. They were much improved. I was really thinking the Eagles was gonna come out and probably just put it on them. You know, with Carson Wentz at the helm, I thought they was gonna put it on them. But the Cowboys came out. They took the opening drive, took it all the way down there, got a field goal out. They scored on the first possession. Then the defense went out there, caused a fumble, and next thing you know, they were right back in scoring position again. I go, oh wow, okay. We got something. But then Ben DiNucci turned the ball over, got sacked and got stripped and turned the ball over. But let's be honest. The game was at hand for anybody to win, even in the fourth quarter. So even though the Cowboys didn't come out with the victory, I will say they were much improved. And they gave Philadelphia really all they can handle. All right. But there was some improvement. I saw one of the things I always talk about their defense, they got to turn the ball over. They got to get the ball to turn over. And they came out with some stuff. They had 4 turnovers last night. You know, now typically, Vincent, when you have 4 turnovers, you're going to win the game, right? But they had 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions by Mr. Diggs. He had a good night last night. He gave up 2 touchdowns, but yet and still he had 2 picks. They got 2 fumbles off sacks, you know, which was pretty good, and they still lost the game, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, they got the 13 quarterback, you know, he's a 7th-round pick out of James Madison. That's a lot for him right now. But, however, even if he plays this week, I really believe that, you know, he could be a work in progress, you know, and if he gets comfortable, because see, sometimes in the NFL, Vincent, let's just think about it. I can tell you about my own experience. You know, all of a sudden you're playing a game with guys you've been looking up to all your life. And, you know, and you look across on the other side, and this week, you know, it's going to be Cameron Hayward. You know, it's going to be, you know, Ben Roethlisberger. You know, so those kind of guys, now you're along with them. And it takes a while for you to just calm down and become a player and say, look, hey, I deserve to be here. You know, I compare these guys. That's why I'm here. And so let's give him a couple of weeks. Let's see what happens if he plays in a couple of weeks, if he'll be at the hand in the next couple of weeks and see how he progresses, right? The Dallas defense still got holes in it. You know, all you got to do is run the football. They got chunks of yards last night. And so at the end of the day, Van Der Esch came back. He had a sack on defense, forced a fumble. They did some okay things, but, you know, overall, they ended up with an L. And so what they got to do to turn this ship around is come up with a win some kind of way. But, man, it don't look good for the next couple of weeks. It just don't. So much improved. The passing game, of course, with all those toys, you know, he's not been able to do much with them. Amari Cooper only had 1 catch last night. You know, and one thing about Amari Cooper, I have to keep my eye on him. He seems to pout when he don't get the ball right. And most diva wide receivers do that, you know. But hey, man, it's a team sport. And so Ezekiel Elliott, again, had less than 100 yards. had less than 100 yards. Pollard had about 40 yards rushing. They had a combined over 100 yards, but very barely over 100 yards. So they still got some work to do. They got some growth. But here's the real key thing I want to say, and I'm going to end the recap on this. The Dallas Cowboys, some kind of way, they got to get some courage. And they're going to have to say, okay, we're going to look up. Instead of looking down, looking at who we got next week, we got the Steelers, they're undefeated. Hey, look, y'all can beat the Steelers. On any given Sunday, y'all can beat them. They need to go to work and just have the attitude that I can, right? And it's going to take more than coaching to get them motivated and inspired to do that. They're going to have to do it from within themselves, And so here we go. I can't count them out because, like I say, this is the NFL. I can remember when we were down like that, the Falcons back in my day, and we'll beat the 49ers. 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, but we'll have that one Sunday where we'll beat the brakes off of them, So what they need is a win. They need a win back.
Coming up against Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Well, bruh, all right, let's just be honest. Right now, the Cowboys could be the worst football team in the National Football League. All right? Could be. And you got three of them at the bottom, the Giants, the Jets, and the Cowboys. Nobody could have ever imagined the Cowboys being where they are right now. Now, here's the thing with the Steelers. The Steelers got the best defense in the NFL, in my opinion. You can't run on them, even though the Ravens ran on them pretty good this Sunday now. But let's understand what the Ravens got. The Ravens got the most prolific running game in all of football. We know that. We saw what they did last year with their quarterback and Ingram in the backs. They're going to do it again this year. They got some yardage on the Steelers, but nobody's going to be able to run the ball on. That is the only way the Cowboys really got a chance that if Ezekiel Elliott can get 100 yards. But with that offensive line, Vincent, hey, man, it don't look good. It don't look good. Because what they do well, they stop the run. Their secondary don't get the publicity that it deserves. They are very good. The Steelers secondary is very good, right? They won that game against Baltimore this past week. They made Lamar turn the ball over, right? So the Ravens won the rushing matchup, but they got the best rushing attack in the NFL, all right? The Steelers defense, based on what I see, they're going to stuff the Cowboys running game. If you stuff the Cowboys running game, what hope do the Cowboys have? In their passing game? I don't think so. And then if you get Andy Dalton back, will he be gunshot this week? Right? Against a dynamite defense like that, right? The Dallas offense will fail, in my opinion, in every aspect of the game this week. I really don't give them no hope. And because their defense is, if they're not the best defense, Vincent, they're the second best defense in the league. Against an offense that's in struggle mode. They have no line. All they got is toys on the perimeter, and if you can't protect and somebody can deliver the ball, what good are they? They're not any good. And then, when you look at the front seven of the Steelers, man, you got an all-star team over there. So, it's going to be tough. And like I say, their secondary is playing great. The Steelers defense, in my opinion, will dominate this game against the Cowboys offense. Like I say, the Steelers got the best defense in the NFL, in my opinion. Now, when you flip the script on the other side, oh, Lord Jesus. The Dallas defense is bad. They're trying to play a 3-4 defense with a 4-3 talent. I like Lawrence. He played pretty good this week. He had some plays in there. But overall, man, all you got to do is just run the ball on them. And, and here's the thing about the Steelers. We know this about the Pittsburgh Steelers, even before the beginning of time. What they known for? They blue collar. They're known for their physicality. And listen, they don't have to score 40 on you to beat you. They want to just beat you down physically. And they're going to do that, right? And so, and then you got Big Ben on the offensive side. He's such a great leader, you know, and he's got toys, but we don't even have to talk about the individual toys. As a unit, I say that the Steelers offense, Vincent, is a top 10 offense in the National Football League. They have scored 26 points a game, the minimum 26 points a game since the beginning. They're going to score enough points to win the game, you know, and it's going to be physical. They're going to wear the defense down. They're going to wear the defense down. Well, the problem with the Cowboys defense, they really don't need to be worn down. They just down. You know, I'm just telling you, they just down, right? And so, you know, every offensive unit that the Cowboys has faced this year has been superior than the defense. That's a problem. That's a problem. I'm going to be honest with you. That defense, the coaching staff need to take that defense along with the coaching staff to a self-help seminar and try to get some courage from somewhere. You know, or go to Oz. You know, maybe they can get some courage in Oz. They can go to Oz, see the wizard. They're going to need some courage this week because what they're about to face, bruh, it's bigger than anything that they're dealing with, right? So, like I say, I think the Steelers defense is the best in the league. The Steelers offense is the top 10 offense in the league, right? They're going to win the game with ease. You know, I say the Steelers going to win this game 34-17. And I'll be honest with you, I'm giving the Cowboys the benefit of the doubt that they can score 17 against the Steelers defense.
Well, Brother Butler, you said some very good points. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Everyone knows I've been a Cowboys fan since I was 6 years old. I've seen the highs. I've seen the lows. I've seen Pittsburgh in the years dominate the Cowboys in the 70s in 2 Super Bowls. This game coming Sunday, I'm going to say the Cowboys playing with house money. I'm going to go back to last night. I thought after the first quarter, listen to what I'm saying, Brother Butler, I thought the defense played well. Mm-hmm. 4 turnovers, 4 sacks, 4 tackles for losses, 6 quarterback hits. I thought they really improved. I thought they played well enough for the team to win the game. Offensively, I thought they played well. They had 133 yards rushing. They outrushed Philadelphia 133 to 119. They outpassed them 180 to 123. 265 yards in total offense to 223. Carson Wentz, the quarterback in Philadelphia, looked like he's taking 3 steps back. He really tried to give the Cowboys the game.
Yeah.
But the thing about Dallas is that what I'm hoping for Sunday, that the Red Rifle from Katy, Texas, Andy Dalton is ready to play. Okay. Because one thing I learned last night is that Mr. Nucci, that's his nickname. I'm calling Ben by his first name. He had a lot of chance in that football game to make things happen. And you are right. He probably got overwhelmed. But it was 2 critical plays in that game last night. In the second half, Dallas came out on a strong drive.
Yep.
Had a chance to keep the drive going. Now, I blame this on offensive play calling. They ran something like a wide reverse to Cedric Wilson, and what happened? Fletcher Cox got him for a 10-yard sack, and they missed a 59-yard field goal.
Right.
Then Philadelphia took a 58-yard drive for a touchdown, scored on the ensuing drive. Dallas gets the ball back there on another great drive. But again, my man, I'm going to call him Mr. Ben, was overwhelmed at the line of scrimmage. Didn't see the blitz, bang, bang play. Actually, Vinny Curry, the D tackle for the Philadelphia, really recovered the ball.
Right.
But when you're a bad football team, you're not going to get any calls either.
That's right.
But overall, if Dallas had, I think, Andy Dalton in that football game, way Carson Wentz played, I think they might have won the football game. Now, moving forward Sunday, playing with house money. You are one of the worst football teams in the National Football League right now, the Dallas Cowboys. If we had a draft today, 2021, you'll have the 6th pick. One thing, when you know this, Bobby, is that when you have house money, really, it ain't nothing you got to lose. You're playing for pride, and then we're really going to see how professional you are. I heard so many things come out this morning. Did we pay Ezekiel Elliott? We gave his money too early. Marcus Lawrence, did we pay him too early? But I'm going to say this, what I think people are not really understanding. Dallas, over the last 4 to 5 years, when Dak Prescott came onto the scene and Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas' strength has been their offensive line.
Yes, yes.
And when you look at their offensive line right now, they only got one starter in Zach Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into the season, we didn't expect Travis Frederick to retire. We didn't expect Tyron Smith to get hurt with a serious neck injury. We didn't expect Lyle Collins to be lost for the year. So I think Cowboy Nation need to really, really look at that aspect right there because, Bobby, you always say, you play the game for 12 great years and you say, hey, man, the game is won at the line of scrimmage.
Yes, it is.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, let's go back to this. Maybe coming into the draft and maybe in the offseason, you decide to let Jason Garrett go. You was real critical of Rob Melinell and the defensive coordinator and his assistant, Chris Richard. And you didn't want to pay some certain players like Robert Quinn, his money. Brian Jones, you let him walk to Miami, he getting paid.
You did.
I was critical, and I'm going to apologize this evening here on our preview tonight. Jeff Heath, I owe you an apology at the safety position. I'm wishing Jeff Heath was back in the back seven now. Because the safety play has been horrible this year.
Yes.
So looking at Sunday, I'm going to be a Cowboys fan. I'm always going to be optimistic. You don't have nothing to lose. But for the Cowboys to not look horrible on Sunday, Andy Dalton, I'm praying that you come out of protocol, and I'm hoping you're ready to play.
Right.
But I saw some encouraging signs last week, and I got a lot of respect for the Cowboys staff. They got rid of Dontario Poe.
They did?
Hey, man, he's from my hometown in 901, but he was not performing.
Right.
They let Everson Griffin. They traded him.
Right.
I hate to say this. I was real high on Alton Smith. He came out of the gates, played well. I was talking about he was the best D lineman after 4 games. But right now, he's been like this.
Right, quiet.
I can't hear.
Right.
Do I need to hear my ear check? Because he hasn't done anything.
Right.
I'm starting to wonder, Lyndon Vanden Earth and Jalen Smith, even though they're making a lot of tackles, maybe they're not who we thought they were. And definitely in the back seven, the only player I see is Trayvon Diggs. So to me, you're going to have to draft some defensive people that's going to have to be difference makers in the secondary.
Right.
But I'm going to still be with this team from head to toe. It can go 2 ways on Sunday. If Andy Dalton is ready to play, I think Dallas is going to keep the game very competitive. But if not, then for Cowboy Nation, you better go back to the Super Bowl, what happened in 1979 when I was a freshman at the University of Arkansas. And you saw how that happened when Terry Bradshaw went over the top with Lynch Swann, Franco Harris, Mel Blount beating up Drew Pearson in the game, Joe Green, John Starr with having over 100 yards rushing, Franco Harris. Then the following year, how they used to beat the Cowboys to a puff physically with Donnie Shell, the guy that you looked up to at Florida State, J.T. Thomas, because it's going to be that type of beating on Sunday if Andy Dalton is not ready to play. But when I think about the Cowboys, I always think positive. And I think about when I was about 8 years old, growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, on that beautiful street by the name of address 763 Dunn Avenue. And one of my best friends who I grew up with, his father was a great musician that wrote all the music. A lot of people do your history night at Stack Records. His best friend was the great Isaac Hayes. And we all know what he was about.
Yes,
sir. He had this song, Shaft. Remember that movie that came out? He did Shaft, the soundtrack.
Right. So
I'm going to say this to Cowboy Nation tonight. And this is my lyrics to you, Cowboy Nation, because I love the organization. I love everything about you. Who's that private eye in the Cowboys office? You damn right. Who is that man? Well, a couple years ago, he was that man from Port Arthur, Texas, and his name was Jimmy Johnson. Hello. So that being said,
all right now,
the Dallas Cowboys, I love you, and I think the Cowboys are going to be competitive on Sunday afternoon if Andy Dalton is able to get under the center. Final words, Brother Butler, about the Cowboys taking on the Steelers.
Well, you made a lot of valid points. They did improve. They did play good. You know, Ben DiNucci, one of the things that he did was a mistake. He held the ball too long last night. He was just holding the ball too long. Therefore, he kept turning the ball over, right? But at the end of the day, they improved. I just hope that they, inside their own circle, Vincent, that they're together. See, if they come together, they'll be able to do some strong things before this year is over with. but they're going to have to come together and they're going to have to stop listening to the naysayers and listen to what everybody outside is saying, because the outsiders don't count. The thing that counts is who's in that locker room. So I'm hoping that they come and play their A game and show everybody that, hey, look, we're not as bad as everybody think we are. You know, we're going to compete against the Steelers because, like I said last week, we need them Cowboys to come on the scene and play well. So let's see what happens this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My final words, everybody out there in the media, probably in Cowboy Nation, thinking that we are a bad football team. And that might be true. I can't deny it, but the only positive caveat out of all this, they're only a game and a half out of first place. Mm-hmm. And it only takes one game to turn everything around.
Wow.
Do I think they still got good players? No question about it. I think DeMarcus Lawrence can turn it up. Mm-hmm. I think getting Randy Gregory back on the defensive line, they can turn it up. I think Lyndon Van Den Earth and my man, Jalen Smith, can turn it up. Mm-hmm. Trayvon Diggs, even though he gave up 2 touchdowns, he showed you what he's about. He had 2 INTs, roll tide.
Right.
And offensively, all the problems in the offensive line, there's no question about it. But I think if the Cowboys this week take the 5 best offensive line, because I hear Joe Looney is ready to play. Mm-hmm. I hear Connor Williams, even though he's played up the pot and have a good game last night, think about moving him to right guard and moving Zach Martin to right guard, moving him to right tackle. Mm-hmm. If they get the pieces on the offensive line, get the 5 best players, mm-hmm. I think the Cowboys can turn things around. And one thing I like about Ezekiel Elliott, in my heart, in my soul, he's still the best running back in the game from the Ohio State.
No doubt.
And just the problem is he doesn't have any blocking. So that nonsense that they overpaid him, no. And he's lost. Then he lost his best friend and best player, Dak Prescott. I think me personally in Cowboy Nation now seeing how special Dak Prescott was to the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But that being said, hey, all you can do is lace them up on Sunday. So, my final 2 words, it's the great Marvin Gaye with the great song, Let's Get It On. And I like to sign off as always. I'm Vincent Turner, joined by the great Bobby Butler. Vincent Turner, I'm the only son, a.k.a. baby boy of Chester and Inez Turner from the 901 Memphis, Tennessee. And my gentleman from South Florida, y'all have a great afternoon. The greatest defensive back I step on it in Florida State history. No question about it. Look at the history records. He started defensive back you, Mr. Bobby Butler. Y'all have a great week. Be very safe tomorrow. Enjoy the election. And hey, we're going to be back here next week, hopefully talking about the Dallas Cowboys in a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Have a blessed evening.